Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. In the top left of the ring, we have our Protoss player Graine. Graine playing with the red Protoss. And in the bottom right of the ring, we have none other than Lord Tomicron. We have Lord Tomicron with the blue Terran workers. Welcome everybody to this beautiful match of Starcraft 2. Alright. We have a Terran versus Protoss, beautiful chess game played this place. It's a tech race between two races. Protoss has very nice technology tools to show off, and the Terran must respond with appropriate tools to try to survive. Now we see both players building the first building. So the first building is of course the gateway for the Protoss. Second building is for the Terran is the factory. So already a probe from Graine is already trying to harass. So Graine tries to harass the Terran worker to stop the build order of the Terran. The Terran pulls two CVs, two workers are pulled, one goes to the factory, another one goes to chase the disturbing worker for the Protoss. So some small skirmishes. In this phase of the game, it's very important that the players don't flood money, but that all the money is spent properly into buildings, because the moves in the early game are very important to make your build order crisp and to not flood money. So we see the Terran, for example, now is accumulating some money to have the second base. This base is transformed into an orbital command, and the first Reaper should pop up, in fact. Now the disturbing worker for the Protoss is trying to prevent the Terran for building the command center, and it does so by building a pylon. So the Terran must build it on the high ground. However, the first Reaper, the first unit for the Terran is coming out, and let's see what happens. So the scouting worker comes back for the Terran. Also the Terran managed to delay the expansion of the Protoss for a bit. The Reaper is out. And let's see what this Reaper... Normally the Reaper is a scouting unit, and the goal here is to scout what the opponent is doing. So there is a probe coming back, very dangerous move, because the Protoss can lose the probe very easily, because now units are coming. So you see the probe harassing a bit, and the Marine is out to kill the probe. The probe tries to evade the attack, but the Reapers come back, and the first blood goes to Lord Tomicron, killing a probe. Now the Reaper for the Terran is going to scout around to see if there is something fishy, like proxy Stargate, proxy Gateway, and to see whether everything is regular. So see whether the Protoss is taking, for example, a third base, and if so, where of his Protoss is going to base. And now we see the Reaper is parking in the possible third base location for the Protoss to see if the Protoss will be the third base. Tomicron already knows that the Protoss has a second base, so both players are respecting each other now into their two-base build. Tomicron also landing his second base and morphing it into an orbital command to have detection for cloaked unit, a bunker at the front to defend, and a depot to get more resources. More and more units streaming out for both players. A Widow Mine to be buried into the mineral line to prevent some flying attacks. Another Widow Mine being built. On the other side, we see the Protoss. Very fast tech from the Protoss. You see, there is a gateway, there is a core. Now there is the Robo and the Robo Bay. Now the Robo Bay means that the Protoss want to go into big, strong units. So these strong units require more tech to be researched, but when you have those strong units, they are very strong. For example, the strong units you can have with the Robotics Bay are the Colossus and the Disruptors. Alright. Now a Stalker to defend against any drop from the Terran. And slowly but surely there is an Adept patrolling here. So both players are saturating their two bases to get more and more economy and to gather money and then spend the money immediately to get more facilities, more production buildings. Now the Terran is doing an interesting switch of add-ons, and we see all of a sudden the Terran is starting a lot of upgrades. We see steam is starting, +1 attack is starting, shields and shells. So Tomicron is starting 4 upgrades at once. So now Tomicron, it means that in 2 minutes Tomicron will hit a power spike, because Tomicron will have a lot of upgrades and a lot of units. Because Tomicron has built all these production facilities, which are 3 racks, 1 factory, and 1 starport, with add-ons. For example, these reactors allows you to produce 2 units at a time. So observer coming from the Protoss, and the Protoss now scouts what the Terran is doing. A lot of units are streaming, and the Protoss is taking a 3rd base. Now Tomicron saw that, because the Reaper died. It means that the Protoss wants to take that 3rd base. So Tomicron knows the location of the Protoss 3rd base, and more and more units streaming, and now. In less than 1 minute, the upgrades for Tomicron will finish. You see, 4 upgrades make for a very, very powerful army. Meanwhile, on the other side, let's say that there is 1 Colossus to defend, but still, since the Protoss choose to invest in more economy, the Protoss is a bit late in having an army to defend. Right? Or 1 Disruptor. So Disruptor, very, very powerful unit, be difficult to control, but it can cause a lot of damage. So Tomicron is already moving out with a very scary army. Lot of Marines, Marauders, and Mines. Mines can blow up a lot of units from the Protoss. Tomicron is sparking now the army. And now Tomicron is even moving in. We see an engagement. So directly Tomicron wants to snipe the 3rd base of the Protoss, because Tomicron doesn't have a 3rd base. So mines are burning down. The Colossus is shredding everything, but the mines pop off. So streaming of reinforcement from Tomicron coming, mines pop off and destroy a lot of units, and the Colossus is going down. Beautiful maneuver by Tomicron. And in the Disruptor, mismicro by the Protoss, the Nova, the ball doesn't hit much, because Tomicron picks up the units, drops the units again, so the ball from the Disruptor didn't hit, and the 3rd base goes down from the Protoss. Beautiful engagement by Tomicron, exploiting his 2 base upgrades, while the Protoss chooses the 3rd base, and the Terra now has an economic advantage, because there's also an army advantage, which is very huge, by the way. Terra now has 57 army supply, Protoss has only 27 army supply. Now Tomicron picks up the army, tries the drop, but the Protoss is in position. Tomicron must retreat with the drop. In the meanwhile, Tomicron is taking his own 3rd base, is taking more and more barracks, and is taking more and more upgrades. So Tomicron in this moment is in a lead. However, the Protoss still has many possibilities, because the Protoss has more tech, very scary and beefy units. Tomicron steals forward, engagement, Mines burrow, Tomicron kites back, Mines goes off, Tomicron goes to the side, try to deny more economy, and so a bit of back and forth. Tomicron adds a bit more forward, little bit of an overextension by Tomicron, tries to kill the Colossus. The Colossus goes down, but there is another Colossus that does a lot of damage to Tomicron units. So Tomicron taking very bloody engagement, dealing blows but also taking blows. Both players actually trading very well. Another Disruptor comes, and Tomicron is picking up units to avoid the Disruptor blow. Disruptor blow hitting the mines. Tomicron dropping the units again, trying to go for the Disruptor. Gets the Disruptor. Disruptor very valuable unit, so very bad if is taken, but in the end the Stalkers will clean up the army of Tomicron. In the meanwhile, Tomicron has another army and tries another army on the right. Tomicron is trying another drop to go and drop these units into the main base of the Protoss. In the meanwhile, the 3rd base of Tomicron is already going on and mining. So, oh no! Tomicron loses all its drop because of this. The ball shot by the Disruptor. So the Disruptor shot a ball with a splash damage, killed all the units that were in those Medivacs. So, and now the Phoenix is chasing down the Medivacs. Tomicron, a little bit of after a brilliant engagement, Tomicron lost all the units in the medevac. Tomicron loses the last units, also the Disruptor clears up the last mine on the front, and the game can stabilize. Because the Protoss is slowly taking his own third base finally. Meanwhile, Tomicron is already fully saturated in his third base. Meanwhile, the fight was going on. Tomicron has produced more mines, more marines, more marauders, and more army. Tomicron is now up to 5 barracks, and soon Tomicron will start the 2-2 upgrades for the infantry, and we have a Ghost Academy with the upgrade for the Ghosts being researched. Furthermore, also the +1 upgrade for air attack is being researched. So Tomicron is also switching from mines to air, because we see a second start of the interaction. So for the moment, Tomicron is capitalizing on the lead he took by staying back and building up the army, preparing for the 2-2 timing. Meaning that 2-2 timing means when Tomicron reaches 2-2 upgrades, Tomicron will attack again. On the other side, the Protoss player Graine is building more and more of these Disruptor units. Disruptor, you see, are very, very powerful units. For example, the Disruptor has 10 kills already, because with one shot, because of their splash damage, they can kill a lot of units with one single shot. So 10 probes already working, and you see, boom, the ball of the Disruptor automatically focuses down the mine from Tomicron, and the mine is cleared up. Another mine from Tomicron over here, just to spot for potential bases or unity movement. And so tech-wise, the Protoss is also researching +2 attack, is building a Colossi, and is preventing drops from the Terran with these cannons, these defensive structures, and researching charge for the Zealots. So, yes, 2 Colossi to defend. Protoss is in a very defensive stance in this moment, so no player wants to attack. Tomicron is ahead in army and a little bit ahead in economy, but Tomicron actually doesn't have so much the right composition for the situation. I mean, Tomicron has a very beautiful composition with Tomicron is trying again the Ghost mode. So Tomicron has now already 7 Ghosts, but the fact is that the Disruptor are a very, very good answer to the Ghosts, because Disruptor don't need energy to shoot. So the Ghost can steal the shields of the units, but if the Disruptor shot hits, this is a big problem. And now we see Tomicron has hit the timing. Tomicron has 2-2 upgrades and is hitting the enemy with a very, very large army of Ghost Viking units. So slowly moving forward and creeping the map. Tomicron is also almost maxed out. Tomicron scans forward and see no defense for this third base, so Tomicron immediately moves in. Now the Protoss army engagement. Now engages in big EMP, and you see this side of the ball goes boom. A lot of chunks of Tomicron army immediately die, but also a lot of units, Protoss units immediately die because of the EMPs. The Viking from the sky clear out immediately the Colossi, and Tomicron moves forward with the mines, and the Brave Marine will die immediately, but Tomicron has cleared out a base. So Tomicron now has these mines over here and is dancing. So, big Disruptor ball hits all the mines because Tomicron sucks and need to split the mines. But now the Disruptor balls are over. Tomicron checks for another base. If there doesn't get it, another ball kills. But the Disruptors start falling. I mean, Disruptors kill a lot, but also Tomicron has even more. So Tomicron steams forward. Very few units remaining for the Protoss. A shield battery is activated, try to save the situation, but GG scored, and Tomicron even lands the Viking to get more and more damage, and Tomicron is just too much. And in the end, Protoss player is forced to GG out. Even if Protoss resisted here, Tomicron was actually producing Liberators, and Liberators are very, very good against Disruptors. Very, very nice match. Tomicron was also expanded towards a 4th base here. But this push was enough to clear the Protoss army, even if the Protoss was a very, very worthy opponent, because those Disruptors with their splash damage. You were killing a lot of mines, a lot of units for the Tomicron army. Very nice match. Thank you all for watching. Tomicron sucked a bit in the composition choice, but the initial push was very nice. If you think Tomicron sucks, just leave a comment below, and see you all in the next time.